Hello, beautiful friends. It's so delightful to be with you all today. I don't know about you, but I woke up with quite a dense energy this morning, and it felt like yesterday was very light and today is very heavy. So I wanted to take a moment to send out a collective prayer for everyone who is riding the ebbs and flows of the intensity of the energy that's moving on and through with our planet right now, with our bodies, with our light upgrades, with all of these pieces moving through. So I would like to just do a quick invocation of calling in the east, the south, the west, the north, the above, the below, the within, calling to the air, the fire, the water, the earth, the sun, the divine earth and soil, calling in the divine masculine, the divine feminine, calling within. We ask that all of our ancestors, masters, teachers, and loved ones come be with us as we do this prayer work today. So I'd like just to take a moment and if you can, just take a moment to breathe in, just breathing in light, and releasing all that is weight, that is heavy as density. Sending it to spirit, transmutation of the ways of the higher earth grids. Breathing in more light, filling up as much of your being as possible. And releasing all density. Do a little shake if you need to. And one more. I feel it always feels good to let out some sound with that as well. Okay, so here we are. I decided to do a clear reading today because I feel like not only do we need some awareness of what's going on, but we also need to check in to how we can transmute it better within our being so that energy doesn't stay stuck. And I'm saying that just as much for myself as any of you who are listening. So I want to begin. I started with a new deck today. I was gifted this Medicine Woman Tarot deck from a friend, and it's been sitting on the altar in my living room for a while, and I decided that I wanted to kind of look at it because it really feels like it fills the divine the divine feminine with the earth simultaneously and how they work together. So that's why I decided to work with this deck today. I worked with a couple others as well, just because I am newer with these cards and I'm still learning them. But we're starting off with the Six of Arrows for the feminine. Now, typically the Six of Arrows is the Six of Swords, and it usually is a big transition energy. Now, I'm going to go through all of the things that I gathered with the feminine, because I asked for clarification from the Seers of Light Tarot, which we use quite frequently, and we also got the Six of Swords, okay? But what I love about these two cards kind of working together is like, this is the thought that comes right before getting on the boat and setting out to sea, but there's still a lot of energies of the unknown, of being guided by spirit. I also, in our Alchemy of Spirit deck, drew the Panther. Now, in this deck, they say that it represents vulnerability. I always interpret the Black Panther as merging into the unknown. So we can take kind of both of those messages simultaneously, of there is a lot of vulnerability in the unknown. I know for myself, the way I woke this morning was feeling just completely at a pause, and like everything around me feels suspended, and not in a way that feels like I'm going up or going down. I just feel kind of stuck, like with an awareness of both levels, but an inability to access the energies of either of those levels. Now, this feels to me like uncharted territory. This feels to me like setting off into the unknown and, journeying with the presence of what comes up individually. And I think that overall, as we get further into this reading, there's a large indication of how we just need to be present. And sometimes I know that is much easier said than done. So we'll move on over to the masculine, where we get the Eight of Pipes, which would be the same as the Eight of Wands. We also get a Six of Pentacles and the Island, okay? So I'm going to work in reverse with this one. So starting with the Island, this is a message of presence. If any of you have ever taken a tropical vacation to an island, perhaps Hawaii, my favorite island is Kauai, there is an extreme presence there because you're tucked away in the middle of the ocean. You're kind of away from the energies of whatever mainland you come from, and you're really to be present with the energies of the island. And the islands all have their own type of medicine. Now, I'm most familiar with Hawaii, and I'm most familiar with Kauai, although I've been to a couple of the other islands. And what I find is in each of those days, you wake up and you can feel the ebbs and flows. And as you integrate with communities there, you often find that everyone is able to talk and communicate about what's coming up in the dream space. That's what's coming up in the collective. And, you know, there really is an element of this new earth that's been gridded in a lot of the island energies. There's a lot more practice of play and being with nature. When you're next to the sea, she's constantly clearing you with that salt water. When you go into her, she blesses you and washes you clean. The waterfalls of the islands. So I really just feel like even in your meditations, and, you know, of course we were using this for the divine masculine, but just really allowing both the energies of the waterfalls, of the cleansing waters, and of the vibration of how the land holds when it is so closely surrounded with those energies. So really, this feels really present. And I love that this is also a new birth of an island, and it really feels connected, as above, so below. So I think that another indication of this earth is like we're really moving into this new beginning of this new earth right now. And it feels unknown. It feels a little scary. It feels wobbly. We are in the vulnerability of not knowing exactly how it's going to come together, because a lot of us are waiting to come together with our counterparts to actively co-create what comes next. And that can be hard. I know I've been a hyper-independent person for a long time, although always longing for the union components. And the challenge within that is, how do you co-create how do you co-create with spirit in the meantime while you wait for the physical presence of the beloved other? And of course, you can connect with your higher self and your partner's higher self and co-create that way. But we know that it's very different when you it can be different once you come together in the physical. Okay, so then we're working with the Six of Pentacles. Now, this really does show me that there's even, if you can see here, there's even that sacred infinity symbol. So this shows me that there is a giving and a receiving, a mutual co-creative component going on that is very alchemical. And to toss it to this card, I think that this is the as above, so below thing. I think the masculine is learning how to better co-create with spirit, to co-create with his beloved, who often brings spirit through to him, and how to co-create on a higher level with himself. I think a lot of men, especially, I think women have been working, or the feminine's been working to kind of really move more into her flow, but the masculine component has still been struggling with holding on to some of these lower templates as it relates to work and struggle and that sort of thing. So I really feel like this is this invitation with this Six of Pentacles of this give and take, this balanced giving and receiving, this checking of accounts, and to tie this with the Eight of Wands, the Eight of Pipes. So the Eight of Wands is generally an indication that messages are going to be coming through, that quick action is coming through. What I like about this card is it feels like there's really like this embodied feminine spirit here who's like well in her creativity. I see her looking to the horizon, really holding towards this vision. So I think there's an invitation here also for the feminine of really, as much as you can, be in the present, but also start to see how you can kind of clear the collateral around these higher visions. I feel like in the earlier months of this year, it was really easy to hold the higher visions and states of consciousness. Something shifted this summer where it became very hard to hold. Maybe you got a glimpse of that again during the eclipses. But now it's like, okay, there's still some like stuff to sort through as we move through this. So I do feel like these cards being together, it's the invitation of being present with as above, so below, allowing of the reciprocal relationships to help create balance, and the taking of action. I feel like these cards really indicate that we're going to be seeing more of the masculine moving forward with clarity and precision. All right, that's been a message that's coming through very dominantly over the last few weeks, and I really want to honor that that's what's showing up. Okay, so clarity and precision as this moves forth. All right, so moving into the third energy of the pair. How is this affecting the two? What is it kind of looking like? Now, this kind of cracked me up here a little bit. So these two cards, we got the Page of Pipes, or the Page of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles, okay? So what I personally like about this card, and again, this is a new deck for me, so I'm just starting to learn these cards, but I'm seeing that there is like a blue heron in the background, that she is embodying like her inner heron. Now the heron work, and if blue heron is a strong totem for me, but that heron work kind of comes up when we are in the mode of self-reliance, is like how our self-reliance can impact the greater whole. I know for myself, there have been many times that I've seen herons in times that I am strongly doubting myself. So this is like, embrace your heron, embrace this strength, connect with the ground, but also connect with the higher perspectives that are available to you. Now, this Knight of Pentacles here feels like, again, it's like the shedding of this shiznit. Are we still using that word? The shedding of the old and walking forward to the new. Now, I think, again, the pairing of these two together really feels to me this embodiment of the feminine holding and cultivating the vision, trusting in the vision, and the masculine enacting it, all right? Now, when I asked where this is headed from the Alchemy of Spirit deck, I got, and I kid you not, the sun and the moon, all right? And how they came out was this. So the moon came first, and then the sun, okay? The moon is representative of the feminine world, of intuition, of diving deep into the subconscious. I know we've done so much healing, and I know we've done so much clearing. And I think it's time to change the game as to how you're doing that, but to keep doing the work, all right? Some days that's for self, some days it's for family, some days it's for soul lineage, some days it's for the collective, some days it's for everybody, and sometimes it's back again. So how are you nourishing yourself? How are you holding true to your own dreams? How are you working with these worlds, with the world of I'm feeling really the fire energy, or wait, what am I feeling? I'm feeling emotional energy here. I lost one of the elements in my head just now. I'm feeling the air element here, and I'm feeling the water element here. I'm feeling the earth energy here, and the fire energy here, okay? So earth, action, passion, and fire. Emotional clearing, and moving of the stuff, helping those winds of change move through so that it may impact the masculine. And I love, even as I hold up these cards next to each other, she's in awe of the masculine here. She's this is her heart longing almost to him, her homage. It's also interesting today, I really organized my outdoor space in a different way, which is where I do most of these clearings, and I've really brought some new energy into clearing this space, and I have a little prism that I decided to move from over there to over here. And the prism reminds me of this. Now, of course, I call myself Prism Healers because ultimately I love this to become a collective of healers who are working together. And in a lot of ways we are, but it's full spectrum healing, right? And full spectrum healing doesn't just come through one person. I bring my own vibration and modalities and things that I've learned and cultivated over the years, as well as just how my specific spirit and consciousness travels, interprets, and moves energy through. That is my unique gifts that I bring. But there's so many incredible beings out there, and if you're listening to this, you're likely one of them too. And we all get to different levels of how this happens. And, you know, like in an apprentice, you know, to come bring it back to our Apprentice of Wands, you know, in apprenticeship, apprentice to knight, right? So it shows me there's like this leveling up going on. I almost feel like all the cards that came out here, you know, we got page, we got knight, we got the Empress, and we got the Emperor. We got the Queen and the King, okay? And again, these came out together. I think the Queen comes first because the King can't become a king without the Queen. All right, but there really was a stepping stone as these cards came out. So that really indicates to me that we are in a process, right? That we are moving up as we traject along. And with every step, we gather new tools, we gather new skills to hold ourselves. So, you know, within each of these videos, you know, regardless of how deep we go into the healing work or to the reading work or to the clearing work or to just bringing through messages, the alchemical component happens between the words. Okay, so as we bring forward the words, there is words that there is energies and vibrations that go in between them. And each of you who watch these videos, you get a soul activation on a very deep level through what I am bringing through. Now, these are my unique codes that I've been asked to bring through. And to me, it doesn't matter if one person watches this video or 10 million people watch this video. The purpose of doing these videos is that the intention is out there, that I am sharing the gift as to the best of my ability with the tools that I currently have available in the physical realm. And all of you have access to that as well. So some of that for you, if you're in a more page place, that might mean, you know, commenting in the comments, reaching out with an email, just liking the video, subscribing, commit to doing a deeper practice. It's an initiatory level. For some of you, that might be, you know, the night work where we're doing more collaborative sessions and that sort of thing. You know, for some of you, we might be co-creative in this container and we might work together. We might be able to do exchanges. All of it is open. We're all becoming masters of our own reality. And you are always a master no matter where you are, because you are a current master of where you have currently established things. So I had no idea all these messages were going to come through with this, because I did pre-draw the cards this time and sit with them a little bit before starting to talk. So I'm always surprised and delighted by what came through, and I hope that these messages are benefiting you. Timmy, Nutmeg, are these messages for everybody else too? Well, there's my little familiars bringing through messages, so I'm going to sign off there. Thank you all so much with your presence on this channel, with your presence on this earth. I send you many blessings and many divine miracles on your journey of sacred union within and sacred union with your external beloved, and just this path in general. Here we are. We're gritting in new work. Earth, we're gritting in the new work for new earth, and I'm really grateful to be on this journey with you all. Many blessings. Aho.